Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so thrilled that you're here today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. My guest today is Laurie Franklin. She is the founder of the Christian Family publication based in Birmingham. I know many of you locally have either picked up a copy of Birmingham Christian magazine, or those of you in Nashville, you have a Nashville version. And I have Laurie joining me today because I will be featured in the May issue, and then I will also be contributing to both of those publications with various recipes, food preparation tips and tricks, and just all things helpful to home and family. So I'm excited about my part in one of my favorite publications, and I'm excited to have Laurie with me today to talk about her part in founding this publication that is now in its 23rd year. Laurie and her husband, Adam Franklin, have 5 sons and live here in Birmingham, and I'm just excited to speak with her today. So I would like to welcome to the SavvyCast, Laurie Franklin. Laurie, thank you so much for joining me today on the SavvyCast.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jamie. I really appreciate it. Honored to be.
Well, it is an honor to have you. And Laurie, I'm going to start with everyone's icebreaker question. What would you choose as your last meal?
Okay. Well, I have been watching my husband nurture some tomato plants, and I cannot wait for those vine-ripe tomatoes. One of my faves is, I just love a tomato sandwich, and a fresh slice of bread with a little bit of mayo and tomato on there. And if it's like my last meal, I'm not going to worry about the fact that I'm going to have some juicy bacon on there too. So yeah.
Listen, not much better, I can assure you. People in the South understand that well, don't we? Because we have the best tomatoes.
You bet.
Okay, well, Laurie, in my introduction, I shared that I am going to be contributing to Birmingham Christian Family. I'm super excited about that. And
we are too.
Will also be featured in the May issue. So first, I just want to start by letting you share, for people who may not have ever picked up a copy or gone online, what is Birmingham Christian Family? And then I'm assuming anything you say about Birmingham Christian Family would apply to Nashville Christian Family as far as topics and content. It's just the region that differs.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, we started Birmingham Christian Family Publications back in 2000. And really the mission was to spread good news in our community and to be a resource for families when it comes to their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And when I crossed paths with what you were doing in terms of providing resources, particularly for busy women and moms, I felt like, and from the perspective that you have, doing it from a faith perspective in all that we do. Really, I think that we talk about communicating for Christ, but I think we do that not just in words, right? We do that in our actions and how we choose to serve and try to be a resource for people. So yes, the mission again of Birmingham Christian Family is to spread good news and to be a resource for families in any way that we can, to connect them in the community. And oftentimes that's with a ministry, a nonprofit, in a way that maybe they need a service or that they can give back. Our families are so interested in connecting and being a part of being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Oh my goodness. And I never pass the kiosk or whatever without grabbing a paper copy. I just love that paper copy. So I've been reading Birmingham Christian Family for as long as I can remember, but I do the hard copy. But tell us, for those who now are more into the digital, about the digital option for both. And I will say, I have both bookmarked as favorites. So, I can just click on either. And for those who are more technologically advanced, just bookmark Birmingham Christian Family or Nashville Christian Family, and you can pull it up. And it's a beautiful interface. Your interface is so intuitive and easy to navigate, which is important today. So tell us,
Absolutely.
is it basically exactly the same? It's just on the digital form?
Well, there's actually a little bit more there on the digital side. Of course, when we started in 2000, there was no digital
Right.
side.
Yeah.
And I would say 10 years into it, we added the website where you could view the issue, and you can do that today. But it is, like you said, in an easier format. So birminghamchristian.com is where you'll find it. And we do have an option to e-subscribe, so you can be the first to get it. Same thing with Nashville Christian Family, so that you'll get it in your inbox when that new issue becomes available. For instance, with the May issue, it will hit this Thursday. So it will be there. And then you'll have the hard copies in the stores, like you mentioned, by this weekend. But what we do on the digital side as well is that there's information there by categories. So for instance, if there's a certain need that you have in terms of, maybe it's an education resource that you need for your children, maybe you're seeking a support group as it relates to an illness that maybe you're going through or a family member is going through. So there's a tab right there so that you can click and go to that particular aspect of the magazine or the issue. So every bit of the information that's in the issue every month, such as your the story that you share about how you started Family Savvy and how you're going to be a part of what we do, is there again on the website by category.
Yes. And I will say, I've just pulled it up on my phone. You mentioned support groups, which that is a very important aspect of life, Christian life. And anyone can benefit from a support group. And I'm sure that all of these are open to anyone. And just
Oh, absolutely.
the depth and breadth of what you're linking to. You have abortion recovery, addiction, ADHD parent support group, Alzheimer's, breast cancer. There's Celebrate Recovery, divorce and grief recovery, ostomy, pet loss, prostate cancer, infertility and grief. That's just multiple myeloma. There are so many different ways that people can get help. Now, I do want to ask that I'm on Birmingham Christian Family on my phone, and these particular support groups, I'm assuming, are local and you can just walk in or join in person.
Correct. Yeah. And with each one of those, you'll see there is a link to learn more about them. So usually if you're looking for more detail in terms of times and location, or maybe you want to connect with someone to find out a little bit more before you actually attend, there's a contact number there or an email address so that people can get further information.
Okay.
We encourage those that are maybe you're starting a support group, maybe in their church or through their nonprofit to let us know so that we can add them as well to the list.
Right. Well, I think this is super important because you can't know what's going on in every church or in every help center. So you're congregating all of this very helpful information for your readers. So I just think that is wonderful. So Laurie, I will just mention to everyone how I got involved. I was reached out to and had a conversation with Laurie at Birmingham Christian Family. And I just shared how my mission in the very beginning was to just share helpful information regarding home and family, mainly very practical things like cooking, food freezing and storage, and helpful kitchen hacks, tips, and tricks, just to make busy people, specifically women, but there are a lot of men who are maybe running a household or enjoy household things, who are also accessing my content. And we thought that it was a perfect fit to have a family savvy contribution once a month to Birmingham Christian Family. And I'm super excited. And Laurie, I know that you all organize your content based upon the time of the year, the season. Maybe you curate your topics where they fit into that type of calendar. So can you tell us what y'all will be honing in on in the next few issues, May, June, July, and then maybe how I can fit in? Because I want to offer, as best I can, whatever's helpful for the season.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we're moving into summer. So one of the things for us is that we're sharing resources in terms of how it relates to family activities and events and making the most of your summer. And certainly, I feel like your food prep type tips too, in terms of how we can do things more quickly and efficiently, so we can spend more time, just enjoying each other as a family. So summertime is big in terms of sharing those ways for families to connect and enjoy their time during the summer. And then, particularly for a busy mom that maybe is balancing work and kids during the summer, ways we can connect them, with activities that they can enjoy. And then we'll be hitting, back to school very soon. It'll be around.
Yes. Yes.
So that's always a big time for us in terms of giving families ideas on preparing for the fall, preparing for those schedule changes and changes in routine and that kind of thing, and to reduce the stress and increase the enjoyment that we can find in relationships with each other.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. And do you have, I'm almost sure you do, every year you have specific camps around the city that parents can look at, dig deeper into, because there are a lot of parents who possibly both of them work. They want to find a good, solid camp that they can entrust their children to during the days that they're maybe working. Well, speak to that, because that's a big deal. Camps are a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, yes, our April issue is featuring several different camp opportunities. And then we also have some things that will be shared in that May issue. Also online every year, we have what we call our VBS guide. So for vacation Bible school, we've had, I think, at least about 100 different churches in the area that have shared with us their information about when they're going to have those, right down to the registration details. So that's we feel like a really good resource for moms and dads to see where they can plug into some programs that are going to be fun for the kids, but also where they're going to feel very comfortable leaving their children.
Oh, absolutely. And I know growing up, VBS was the highlight of my summer. And, there are so many wonderful churches whose VBSs really are as fun as camp, but it's just, a shorter period of time. So that is a fabulous resource to be able to see who's doing what and, get it on your calendar. So Laurie, explain to everyone watching and listening, if you get the hard copy, that's great. What is on the digital copy that they cannot get on the hard copy? It is organized a little differently, but is there any content that they're going to get on the digital side that they won't?
Right. And I think that one of the things is the ease of connection. So as you're reading the digital issue, as you scroll through, the links are all live. So when generally with our articles, with your articles, as far as like you're sharing a tip, but then it allows our readers then to go directly to your site for more additional resource, tips and additional content. So that is one of the things that, and one of the exciting things, especially having been kind of drug into the digital world, as far as how much easier it is to be able to share, additional content in that digital format. So that's one of the big differences, as you'll see as you flip through the issue, all of the live links that will allow you to dig deeper into a topic that makes a difference, and is important to you. And then we have, articles that similar articles that relate to that same topic that you may want to continue to read as you're going through the issue.
Right. Does today behoove us to learn how to navigate either our iPhone, our phones, or the laptops, because live links just open up so many more doors to dig deeper into interesting topics. And I will say, though, for those who want a hard copy, there is a link on the site, Find a Copy, and you can put in your zip code and your location. And there are so many places beyond grocery stores, which is one of the main places I get mine, and Chick-fil-A, because I'm in Chick-fil-A probably way more than I should be. But almost every Chick-fil-A is going to carry your hard copy, correct?
Yeah, we are in many of those locations. There's only a few where they're space-wise, they're a little bit limited, but yes, and they've been a partner with us since the very beginning. So more than 20 years. So yes, people definitely look for them there, and we work to make sure that they're available when they stop in.
Well, Laurie, tell us, because you do have a lot on events. What are some of the biggest events that y'all draw people to and that they can avail themselves of that maybe they've not thought of?
Right. Well, we lots of different family events. We've got American Villages is an organization that we work with here in our community, and they have some wonderful events. They'll upcoming. There will be Memorial Day, and of course a huge July 4th. That's an amazing celebration that they do. There's a lot of different festivals that are happening. Magnolia Festival is a really good one in Gardendale. It took place just this past weekend. And then there's the Barbecue and Blues Festival that Bob Sykes does. That's coming up this next weekend in Bessemer.
And that is a fabulous, oh my goodness, wonderful. That's a lot of fun and a lot of good eating. So y'all have all the details about that. And then also you have a fabulous resource where you share things that are fun for families to do, just amongst themselves, like places that you can find hiking or different activities and swimming. And how do you get the information? Is there someone who just searches all this out and connects? I mean, y'all are fabulous at connecting people with different family-friendly organizations. How does that work? That's got to be, you got to be on top of it because you offer so much every month.
Well, I mean, it really is it's a team effort. I'm very thankful to have Melissa Armstrong, who you have met.
Yes, love her.
Who worked with me, and she is fabulous in terms of helping us get that information, out to the families. And we have readers and organizations that we have connected with over the years, and they know that we are an outlet for them to get their message out. You mentioned like the calendar and that, again, thanks to technology, we're able to update that, within minutes, and daily we really do add things onto that calendar so that we're able, again, as families are searching, like, what are we going to do this weekend? Or, I need this particular resource, that they can go to that calendar and find something pretty quickly. So that's been a really, really good advantage for us.
So that is another reason that we would want to subscribe to and stay on top of the digital, because you might add something tomorrow that will be in the issue that's currently on stands, but you're not going to have that updated content.
Right. Right. And honestly, too, one of the other ways that we alert families, to the events and to the resources is through our social media. So, Facebook and Instagram are very important tools for us to be able to share resources for the family. So those posts, link then to articles that relate to that topic. So if it's something that you want to learn more about, we hope that you would, check out our Facebook page and our Instagram page. And again, that's just another way to stay connected and be on top of, like you said.
See, and I love that because I think it is important, especially on Instagram. Well, both, because you can put it like all of my content that goes on Instagram immediately is duplicated on Facebook. But just for those who may not be able to get to the show notes right now, but they want to know how to access you digitally, Birmingham Christian Family Magazine is birminghamchristian.com. Nashville Christian Family Magazine online is nashchristian.com. So that makes sure you know that it's nashchristian.com. Now, your corporate website is christianfamilypublications.com. Who would want to access that? What is that about?
Absolutely. So in terms of just getting to know a little bit about us and our history, and then also it connects you to our local publications straight from there. So if you go to christianfamilypublications.com, you'll have a direct connect to actually view the Nashville Christian Family issues, as well as the Birmingham Christian Family issues. So that's another place you can go and read the publications if you want to, or go directly to the sites.
Okay, that's wonderful. And for anyone who might have a business and they want to be a sponsor or have advertised, they can go through that particular end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is how we are still around today, is because we do have businesses that choose to advertise with us, that have invested with us. Many of them are their goal is to serve families in some capacity with their business or their ministry, and so that is what allows us, to have the publication out there as a free publication. There is no cost, to picking up the magazine or to reading it online. So,
and I commend you for continuing to do the print copy, because that does cost. And a lot of, businesses move from hard copy to digital. And,
Sure.
any credit card company, they try to get you to go paperless and so forth. But you are doing that. Are you just strictly trying to hold on to that for those who they really just like the hard copy? They want to feel just like a lot of people, rightly so. They want a real book. They don't want the Audible. They don't want the Kindle. So that is a service you're offering that is a cost. So what
Right.
would you say your percentage is, Laurie, of those who read the hard copy versus the digital?
Mm-hmm. It is interesting. We have seen, and particularly with COVID, I think that pushed a little bit into reading it digitally because they weren't getting out as much. But we it hasn't been that long. We surveyed and took a look, and probably close to half are saying, the primary way I look at it is the hard copy. The other is, I'm primary way is digital. But there's, interestingly enough, a crossover there of like where they say, I read some of the content in the hard copy, but I follow you guys on Facebook, so I'm looking at those articles, from there. So it's definitely a crossover. But I feel like the type of content that we have, the good news content that we offer for those of us who maybe spend a lot of time in front of the computer, the idea of being able to pick up something and look at it that is positive, good news. There is something literally about holding it, and probably a little bit more in my age generation, because I think my kids have grown up, on the digital platform. Picking up something doesn't mean quite the same as it does probably to me, but we still have quite a good circulation. And when you're reading an article in one of our publications, as far as particularly how God has worked in somebody's life, and you think, oh, I think so and so could relate to that. There's really, to me, nothing better than being able to pick it up, and just hand it, and say,
yes.
And pass it off to them.
And what are some of the other contributing, not editors, but people like me who do contribute maybe regular content? Can you give us maybe some of those and some other topics where you have contributors?
Right. So we do, like on different topics like parenting and marriage, we have contributors for each of those. We have contributors that relate to as far as just ideas on how to grow in your faith. And we have in the area of education, as far as contributors sharing about that advice, particularly as it relates to helping parents to navigate what is going to be the best options, for their children or their grandchildren. And then health is a big topic for us, and we have a number of different contributors on that topic as well, as it relates to your physical health as well as your mental health. Compact is an organization here in the Birmingham Shelby County community that has been a partner with us for a number of years, and they particularly focus on both from a teen perspective and a parent perspective, as far as really drug prevention, and also being a resource when families encounter issues like that, and how can we walk through them. So that's another one, another topic that we cover every month.
Right. Well, as I was sitting here navigating, just looking at this month's issue, oh my goodness. Okay. The risk of UTIs as you age, that's something that I've even had a podcast with a holistic, they own a pharmacy here, about ways to combat UTIs, which are a very large problem for all ages, and especially for women. So I can't wait to read that. And then I see that you have got the story of Jeff Davis, whom I know. He's done surgery, orthopedic, is it right? Orthopedic surgery?
Yes.
He's done, fabulous person. His wife is wonderful, but he had he almost died of COVID, and he shares his story, which I know tidbits of just from mutual friends. Amazing. I mean, that is, I can't wait to dig into that, because what a testimony, Dr. Davis.
Yes, powerful testimony that he shares.
And then I just want to hit a few more of these, and then I know you've got other appointments, but Run to Rebuild, Running the Race to Restoration. I'm assuming that's something about Restoration Academy. which is one of our favorite ways to give back. And
Yeah.
then give the gift of mobility and accessibility. Is that just you're offering ways that people can help in areas that they are extremely interested in giving back?
Mhm. Yeah, we do a lot in terms of content that is sharing, what organizations are doing, and then how you can be a part of that. How you could plug in. Maybe it's as a volunteer. Maybe it is,
Mhm.
a monetary donation.
Right.
A lot of times, though, what these organizations need are people that are willing to, to put their time in, and
Right.
really work with them. So we do a lot of that. On accessibility, we actually work with a company called 101 Mobility that offers a lot of different solutions for families that are, seeking maybe to, especially as we age, as far as to be able to stay in their home as opposed to
Oh,
maybe
wow.
moving into the community, looking at those options and what's going to be best in those situations. So, yeah,
Well, that's
as we
wonderful.
travel through these different life phases,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
There's a different type of support and encouragement that you need in each of those seasons. They're all very different. And it's wonderful that y'all are providing that from a Christian perspective. Well, I'll just wrap it up by just giving a little peek inside what I'm planning to contribute each month. For the summer, I'm hoping to, and I've already done. Now I contributed to. I think the peas, so how to prepare peas, might be the one in May. I'm not quite sure, but I'm trying to help people know what to do with the wonderful farmers market produce that's coming up. Nothing to me is more wonderful than farmers market in the summer. So I've shared an easy, no recipe method for making Southern peas. Excited about that. And I do
yeah,
want to try to hit some of the best ways to use some of the most popular farmers market produce.
hmm
And as always, I know that you all take questions and advice for suggested topics. And
yes,
if someone wants to say, hey, Jamie, or hey, Birmingham Christian Family, can y'all share info on this? How is the best way to get directly to you for that? Just is it an
mhm.
email or to go through the corporate site?
Yeah, actually, we have on the website birminghamchristian.com. There is a contact tab, and on there
Okay.
it says you have the option to share like a story idea, something that you'd like us to cover, and you can just simply type it in and go from there. So, and then of course, Melissa is our editorial manager. That's Melissa at
Mhm.
christianfamilypublications.com. But probably that contact tab is the easiest way to
Yes.
get it started. Yeah.
Well, that is wonderful. Well, I'm excited about being on board, and I'm grateful to you all for what you do and keeping good news in the forefront in an age where there's not a whole lot. Sometimes it appears,
Yes.
but it's still alive and well, and y'all are
Yes. Yes.
making it known. And I'm very grateful to you for that.
Mm.
Well, I am so glad that you joined me today, Laurie. It was a pleasure. And just for those watching and listening, all links to the Christian Family publications will be on the show notes. Be sure to check those out. And Laurie, until you and I speak again, you have a great rest of your day. And
You
thank you
too.
again.
Oh, thank you.